morning. I'm Honey Grace, inviting you to join us sa atong discussion sa Pulso, diri sa The Morning Show. Ang pagtipig sa palibot kinahanglan gid sa subong nga panahon. Tagsa-tagsa sa aton may obligasyon diri. And we have with us this morning a world-renowned British botanist, environmentalist, author, and television personality, Professor David Bellamy. Good morning,
Good
Professor.
morning.
Okay, we were told that you're here for a 10-day trip to the Philippines, and here in Negros, what are your activities?
Well, I have been talking to local people, especially down in Negros and Danhugen, because many years ago we heard that Danhugen Island was for sale, and I worked with many schools, and the schools collected money, and because they had never seen a coral reef or the rainforest, and they bought the island. It is now in the hands of the local people, and the reef has been nursed back into working order. It's the most wonderful. I walked in paradise yesterday, and that paradise had been produced by a consortium of local people and some experts who said this is the way to go, and I didn't want to go home. I really didn't.
Oh, okay, so we're glad that you have a grand time at Danhugen. We always hear the word ecotourism. What is ecotourism?
Well, ecotourism is tourism that works with Mother Nature, not against Mother Nature, and you have so much to offer. You have some of the best coral reefs in the whole world, and forests, and going right the way, driving down through Negros, you see the views and things and the mountains, but many of them don't have forests on. If you put all the forests back, very, very soon the animals and the plants would come back. Trees do wonderful things. They make shade, they make habitat, they produce fruit, they produce timber, but it's all gone, so it can be, and it is being put back. And then that stabilizes the soil, so the soil doesn't run down on the coral reef, because if I'm a coral polyp, I'm here, and down comes lots of sand or silt, I die. So, and if you go to many places, there are marine protected areas, and all of a sudden the corals are looking at and say, goodness, there's no more silt. So it is very, very simple. Put and get the local people to put the forest back, and then the tourists will come in there. But they've got to be managed, because we've got to be taught how to behave when we're in the Philippines.
Okay, involving local communities for ecotourism. Have you seen that here in Negros in your travels?
Well, certainly, of course, Danhugen is an excellent example. The local people there have followed all the rules, and the rules are set, and now divers, you can come and be part of that island, and you pay for the privilege.
Yes.
And that is sustainable.
Okay.
And the main problem is you can't have millions of tourists going to a place like that, but you can have a cash flow of tourists, and that makes the local people, because they get
from it. Yeah, okay. How you mentioned that these local people need to be trained. And what sort of training?
Well, when we first went to Danhugen, of course, there was dynamite fishing. There was, and also when the boats went, you threw the anchor over, kill all the coral. Now, every coral head down there is the home for perhaps 30 or 40 different sorts of fish. If the coral head's gone, the fish have gone. So there's less for people to fish. Now you can go there and say, right, so much, the shellfish and so much of this can be taken using the right technique. So just to have a place to tie your boat up is wonderful. Don't chuck the anchor in and kill the very reef that people come to see.
Yeah, I'm very interested in particular about these local communities being trained, and you just mentioned several of it, but is really budget necessary for these communities to start the ball rolling?
Well, there is, and of course USAID and lots of other people have put money. I mean, people from all over the world helped to buy Danhugen, and then it was given into the loving care of the people. But no, it's got to earn its living.
Okay.
I mean, if you are running a resort, you need a profit, but you need a profit which goes, and that profit goes to the local people, and that's the magic of real ecotourism. don't spoil the resource. And it's not our resource, it's the resource of the local people. And we had this wonderful symposium yesterday, and they were, talking. I didn't have to give a lecture. They know the problems, and with a little bit of help. And once you get that help, and you have the reef and you have the forest again, the tourists come, and the cash flow pays for it all.
Okay.
I can retire.
Tell us, Professor David, what is in the environment that really interests you? I can sense the passion you have for the environment, and what is it? So people watching could also catch that same passion and do something.
Well, yesterday I walked in Paradise, and there was a sea eagle. And I saw the lady one come down and catch a fish to feed her babies. Now, it is the right of every child in the Philippines and every child in the world to see all the things they should be living there. We don't destroy them. They're there. We can live in harmony. And it is happening right the way across the world. I call it the green renaissance. Okay. People are so fed up that the values and the ordinary things of everyday life that their parents and grandparents used to see, have disappeared. So they're not sitting back. They are helping the government, and with a bit more governmental help, they can stitch the world back into working order. So what ecotourism is a tapestry of hope. And, I have really enjoyed my last few days, and I'm going home and saying, see, I can't say to everyone in the world, all come to Dan Hugan because they kill it.
Yes,
but let's get a good enough cash flow into the local economy. I would love to come and live there on the beach. I'm getting old now. What a place to retire.
Yes. And we have a lot more ecotourism spots, not just Dan Hugan, here down south and north too. And we would love it if you could stay a little longer with us. And your message to the people, Professor, with regards to taking care of our environment.
Well, you do care about it, but I think over the last 70 years, the 7 decades of destruction. When I first dyed these waters back in the 60s, there were sharks everywhere. There was coral everywhere. The monkeys used to come down, from the forest, and the kids would play with them. They come down to drink, and back they go. And that was taken for granted. Where have the monkeys gone? Where have your deer gone? They're all hiding up there waiting for ecotourism. And then they go, wow, at last we can come out and live beside all the people again. Aren't you lucky? We don't have nearly as many trees, or we don't have coral. Well, we do one coral, I think. And we're trying to look after that. We've done exactly the same stupid things in the past, but now we're coming to our senses and saying we can live in a beautiful world and still have a good income for everyone.
Okay. Your message, sir, how is your tie-up with the Biodiversity Center of Negros Forest and Ecological Foundation?
Oh, well, that's wonderful, because you can see that the animals, some of the rarer animals, are now being taken into care and being bred in intensive care units. We have intensive care units when we have babies, don't we say? And I've been working all the way around the world with some people who buy big chunks of the world, which are still biodiverse, and then start to expand those. So they breed the very, very rare animals. Because, you see, if we lose one species of animal or plant, then the Philippines cannot work anymore. They need those things. We need the sharks back, because the sharks, we've lost 80% of all the sharks, big sharks in the world. And they used to keep down the numbers of the fish and the other things which ate the coral reef. So as soon as you've lost the sharks, as soon as you've lost the living system, then you have to use fossil fuel. See, if you have a bit of forest and the wrong trees are there, and you put a road through, you use fossil fuel to look after it and to stop the erosion. So, it's much, much cheaper to let the forest and let the reef go again. And we have no problems anymore.
Okay, thank you very much. We're truly inspired just listening to you. And I believe that with your technical expertise and hopefully assistance to the places you've visited, we will learn more from your visit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this interview. Ang mga ito isa naman kaedisyon sa Pulso. We'll be right back.